Have you ever wondered what truly makes a woman unforgettable in a man's eyes? Not just noticed, not just liked, but deeply, powerfully attractive. Because here's the truth, attraction isn't just about looks, and it's not about trying to be someone you're not. Real attraction comes from how you show up, how you carry yourself, and the energy you bring into a connection. So many women are taught to chase attention, to overgive, to prove their worth. But the women who stand out, the ones men can't stop thinking about, don't do that. They understand something deeper. They understand that attraction is less about impressing and more about expressing who you truly are. Authenticity is one of the most powerful, yet misunderstood qualities when it comes to attraction. Many women grow up believing they need to present a polished, perfect version of themselves to be desirable. They think they have to say the right things, act a certain way, or hide parts of who they are to be accepted. But the truth is, perfection creates distance, while authenticity creates connection. When you're trying to be perfect, you're constantly filtering yourself. You're second guessing your words, overanalyzing your actions, and worrying about how you're being perceived. That pressure not only drains your energy, but it also makes interactions feel tense and unnatural. Authenticity, on the other hand, is freeing. It allows you to relax into who you are without constantly performing. And that ease, that comfort in your own skin is incredibly attractive. When a woman is authentic, she gives off a sense of confidence doesn't need to be announced. It's felt. It shows up in the way she speaks honestly, laughs openly, and expresses herself without fear of judgment. That kind of presence draws people in because it feels real, and real is rare. Men, like anyone else, can sense when something feels forced. They can tell when someone is trying too hard to impress or fit into an ideal. And while that effort might be appreciated on the surface, it doesn't create a deep or lasting attraction. What creates that deeper pull is the feeling that they are experiencing the real you. When you drop the need to impress, you create space for genuine connection. You allow someone to see your personality, your quirks, your opinions, and your values, and that's what makes you memorable. Being authentic also means being okay with not being liked by everyone. This is where many people struggle. They believe that to be attractive, they need universal approval. But trying to please everyone often leads to losing yourself in the process. True attraction isn't about being liked by everyone. It's about being deeply appreciated by the right person. And that only happens when you show up as you truly are. Because the right person isn't looking for a perfect version of you. They're looking for a real connection. Another important aspect of authenticity is emotional honesty. This doesn't mean oversharing or being unfiltered in a way that disregards boundaries, but it does mean being truthful about how you feel. When something makes you happy, you allow yourself to express it. When something bothers you, you communicate it calmly and clearly instead of suppressing it to keep the peace. This kind of honesty builds trust, and trust is one of the strongest foundations of attraction. Authenticity also removes the pressure of constantly trying to maintain an image. When you're pretending to be someone you're not, you always have to keep up that act. It becomes exhausting, and eventually it creates cracks in the connection. But when you start from a place of truth, there's nothing to maintain. You can simply be. That ease allows relationships to grow naturally instead of feeling forced fragile. There's also a quiet confidence that comes with authenticity. It says, "This is who I am, and I'm comfortable with that." That message is powerful because it shows self-acceptance. And when you accept yourself, you set the standard for how others should treat you. You're not seeking validation, you're allowing connection. That shift changes everything. Authenticity invites the other person to be authentic as well. When you show up without pretense, it creates a safe space for the other person to drop their guard. This is where real connection happens, not in perfect conversations or flawless behavior, but in honest human moments. It's in the latter that isn't rehearsed, the opinions that aren't edited, and the emotions that are genuinely felt. At its core, authenticity is about trusting that who you are is enough. And when you truly believe that, you stop chasing approval and start attracting connection in a way that feels natural, effortless, and deeply fulfilling. Emotional presence and connection are at the heart of what truly makes a woman deeply attractive, because at the end of the day, people don't just remember what you said or what you looked like, they remember how you made them feel. When a man is around a woman who is fully present, he feels seen, heard, and valued in a way that goes beyond surface level interaction. That experience creates a strong emotional imprint. And it's one of the reasons he finds himself wanting to return to that connection again and again. Being emotionally present means more than just listening to words. It means being fully engaged in the moment without distractions, without thinking about what to say next, and without trying to control the outcome of the interaction. It's about giving your full attention to the person in front of you. When you are present, your body language aligns with your attention, you maintain eye contact, you respond naturally, and you show genuine curiosity. This creates a sense of closeness that cannot be faked. One of the most powerful aspects of emotional presence is the ability to make a man feel understood. Men often don't open up easily because they don't always feel safe sharing their thoughts or emotions. But when a woman listens without judgment, without interrupting, and without trying to fix everything immediately, it creates a rare and valuable space. In that space, a man feels free to be himself, to express what's on his mind, and to let his guard down. That feeling is incredibly attractive because it builds trust and emotional intimacy. Emotional connection is also built through empathy. Empathy is the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and genuinely understand what they're experiencing. When you respond with empathy, you show that you care not just about the situation, but about the person. For example, instead of immediately offering solutions, you acknowledge how he feels. You validate his experience by recognizing it, and that validation helps deepen the connection. It tells him that he's not alone in what he's feeling. Another important element is emotional openness. When you're willing to share your own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in a sincere way, you invite the other person to do the same. This mutual exchange creates a bond that is built on honesty and vulnerability. Vulnerability doesn't mean oversharing or being emotionally dependent. It means allowing yourself to be seen in a real and human way. When you express joy, excitement, or even concerns without fear, you create a sense of authenticity in the interaction that draws people closer. Being emotionally present also means being responsive rather than reactive. There's a difference between reacting impulsively and responding thoughtfully. When you respond with awareness, you create a calm and grounded energy. This makes interactions feel safe and stable, which is something people naturally gravitate toward. A calm emotional presence can have a powerful effect on a man, as it creates a contrast to the often fast-paced, high-pressure world outside the relationship. In addition, emotional presence allows for deeper conversations. Instead of staying on the surface with small talk, you create space for meaningful dialogue, you ask thoughtful questions, you share perspectives, and you engage in discussions that matter. These kinds of conversations help build a connection that goes beyond physical attraction. They create intellectual and emotional chemistry, which strengthens the overall bond. When a woman is emotionally present, she also becomes more intuitive in the way she interacts. She picks up on subtle cues, tone of voice, facial expressions, changes in energy, and responds in a way that aligns with what the moment needs. This level of awareness makes the interaction feel smooth and natural, as if everything is flowing without effort. Ultimately, emotional presence is about showing up fully without holding back and without losing yourself in the process. It's about creating an experience where the other person feels valued, understood, and connected. And when a man experiences that kind of connection, it becomes something he associates with you specifically, making the bond stronger and more meaningful over time. Playfulness and positive energy are often underestimated, yet they are some of the most powerful elements of attraction. When you think about the people you enjoy being around the most, chances are they are not the ones who are always serious, rigid, or overly concerned with how everything appears. They are the ones who bring lightness into the moment, who can make you smile even on a tough day, and who remind you that life doesn't always have to be heavy. That same kind of energy is deeply attractive in a woman because it creates an emotional experience that feels refreshing and enjoyable. A playful woman brings a sense of ease into interactions. She doesn't take everything too seriously, and she knows how to laugh, tease, and enjoy the moment without overthinking every detail. This doesn't mean being immature or careless. It means having the ability to stay light-hearted and flexible. When a woman can smile at small imperfections, make a light joke, or gently tease in a kind and respectful way, it creates a dynamic that feels natural and fun. That sense of playfulness builds a unique connection that goes beyond structured or formal interaction. Positive energy is equally important. It's the kind of energy that makes someone feel good just by being around you. When you carry a positive outlook, It doesn't mean you ignore challenges or pretend everything is perfect. Instead, it means you choose to focus on the good, to find humor in situations, and to maintain a hopeful perspective. That kind of energy is contagious. It lifts the mood of the conversation and creates a space where both people feel more relaxed and comfortable. Men are especially drawn to this kind of energy because it offers a break from the stress and demands of daily life. Many men face pressure in their work, responsibilities, and personal goals, and when they spend time with a woman who brings positivity and playfulness, it feels like a breath of fresh air. It gives them a chance to relax, to laugh, and to enjoy themselves without pressure or expectation. That emotional experience becomes something they look forward to and associate with you. Playfulness also helps reduce tension in interactions. Sometimes conversations can become too serious or heavy, which can create pressure and discomfort. But when you introduce lightness into the moment, it softens the atmosphere. A simple smile, a playful comment, or a bit of humor can completely shift the tone of an interaction. It shows confidence because it demonstrates that you are comfortable enough to not take everything too seriously. Another important aspect of playfulness is spontaneity. Being spontaneous means allowing yourself to go with the flow instead of trying to control every outcome. It might be suggesting a fun activity, sharing a random thought, or responding in a way that feels natural rather than rehearsed. This spontaneity creates excitement and keeps the interaction from feeling predictable or routine. It adds an element of surprise, which keeps the connection engaging. Positive energy also influences how you respond to challenges or misunderstandings. Instead of reacting with frustration or negativity, a woman with positive energy approaches situations with calmness and understanding. She can acknowledge issues without allowing them to dominate the entire interaction. This creates a sense of emotional stability, which is highly attractive because it signals maturity and resilience. When combined, playfulness and positive energy create a magnetic presence. People are naturally drawn to those who make them feel good, and a woman who embodies these qualities becomes someone others enjoy being around. It's not about forcing happiness or putting on an act. It's about cultivating an inner state that allows you to enjoy life, appreciate moments, and connect with others in a light and uplifting way. This kind of energy doesn't just affect the other person, it also transforms your own experience. When you choose to approach life with playfulness, you feel more relaxed, more open, and more in control of your emotions. You stop taking things personally. You enjoy interactions more fully, and you create a positive cycle where your energy attracts more of the same. Self-worth and confidence are two of the most powerful qualities that shape attraction because they determine how you see yourself and, in turn, how others experience you. When a woman truly values herself, she carries an inner strength that doesn't depend on external approval. She doesn't need constant reassurance, she doesn't chase validation, and she doesn't shrink herself to make others comfortable. Instead, she stands firmly in her own identity, and that sense of groundedness naturally draws people in. Confidence is not about being loud, dominant, or attention-seeking. It's not about being the most talkative person in the room or trying to prove your worth through actions or words. Real confidence is quiet. It's calm. It's the ability to walk into a room and feel at ease with who you are without comparing yourself to others. When a woman carries that kind of energy, it creates a sense of stability that others can feel immediately. Self-worth is the foundation of this confidence. It's the internal belief that you are enough as you are without needing to change yourself to be accepted. When your self-worth is strong, your decisions reflect that belief. You choose relationships that respect you. You set boundaries when something doesn't feel right, and you walk away from situations that don't align with your values. This sends a powerful message, not just to others, but to yourself, that you deserve to be treated with care and respect. One of the most noticeable effects of self-worth is how a woman handles attention. When she knows her value, she doesn't become overly attached to someone just because they show interest. She doesn't lose herself in the excitement of being noticed. Instead, she evaluates the connection and asks herself whether it aligns with what she truly wants. This ability to remain grounded prevents her from falling into patterns of overgiving or people-pleasing, which can often weaken attraction. Confidence also shows up in how a woman communicates. A confident woman speaks with clarity and honesty. She expresses her thoughts without hesitation, but also without aggression. She is comfortable saying what she means and meaning what she says. This directness creates a sense of trust and respect in interactions. When someone knows that you are genuine in your words, they feel more secure around you, and that security strengthens the connection. Another important aspect of self-worth is emotional independence. This doesn't mean being emotionally closed off or distant, it means being whole on your own. You don't rely on someone else to define your happiness or your identity. You have your own interests, your own passions, and your own sense of purpose. When you bring that fullness into a relationship, you add value rather than seeking it. That makes the connection feel balanced and healthy. Men are particularly drawn to this quality because it creates a sense of admiration. There is something deeply attractive about a woman who knows who she is and doesn't compromise that for the sake of approval. It signals strength, stability, and self-respect, all qualities that naturally inspire attraction. It also creates a dynamic where the connection is based on mutual respect rather than dependency. Self-worth also influences how a woman responds to challenges in relationships. When something goes wrong or a disagreement arises, a woman with strong self-worth doesn't immediately assume she is at fault or that she needs to fix everything to maintain the connection. Instead, she approaches the situation with balance. She is open to communication, but she also respects her own needs and feelings. This creates a healthy dynamic where both individuals feel heard and valued. Confidence built on self-worth also affects body language. The way you carry yourself, your posture, your eye contact, your movements communicates volumes without saying a word. A woman who feels confident stands tall, moves with intention, and makes eye contact with ease. These subtle cues signal self-assurance, and they play a significant role in how others perceive her. At its core, self-worth and confidence are about alignment. It's about being in harmony with who you are, what you believe, and how you show up in the world. When that alignment is strong, everything else begins to fall into place. Your interactions become more natural, your boundaries become clearer, and your presence becomes more impactful. You stop seeking validation and start embodying value, and that shift is what creates a truly magnetic and lasting form of attraction. How you make someone feel is one of the most powerful and lasting aspects of attraction because emotions create memories, and memories create attachment. A man may forget the exact details of a conversation or the specific words you said, but he will never forget the feeling he experienced in your presence. That feeling becomes associated with you, and over time, it becomes the foundation of how he sees and values the connection. When a woman understands this, she shifts her focus from trying to impress to intentionally creating a positive emotional experience. This doesn't mean being fake or performing. It means being mindful of the energy you bring into interactions. Are you creating a space where he feels respected, comfortable, and appreciated? Or are you unintentionally creating tension, pressure, or uncertainty? These subtle differences can completely change the dynamic of a connection. One of the key emotional experiences men seek is respect. Respect is not about agreeing with everything or putting someone on a pedestal. It's about acknowledging their thoughts, their efforts, and their individuality. When a man feels respected by a woman, he feels valued for who he is, not just for what he does. That feeling builds a sense of pride and connection that deepens attraction over time. Small actions like listening attentively, acknowledging his perspective, and appreciating his efforts contribute to this feeling in a meaningful way. Another important emotional experience is appreciation. Everyone wants to feel appreciated, but for men, this can be especially impactful. When you express genuine appreciation for something he does, whether it's something big or small, it reinforces positive behavior and creates a sense of encouragement. It lets him know that his efforts are noticed and valued. This builds a positive emotional loop where he feels motivated to continue investing in the connection. Equally important is the feeling of ease. Life can be demanding, and many people carry stress from work responsibilities and personal challenges. When a man is around a woman who brings a sense of calm and ease, it creates a contrast to the pressures of the outside world. He doesn't feel judged, rushed, or overwhelmed. He feels relaxed. That sense of ease makes the time spent together enjoyable and restorative, which naturally increases his desire to be around you. Emotional safety is another critical component. Emotional safety means that a man feels free to express himself without fear of criticism or rejection. When a woman creates a space where he can share his thoughts openly without being shut down or misunderstood, it builds trust. That trust becomes the foundation of a deeper emotional bond. Over time, this sense of safety allows the connection to grow in a way that feels genuine and secure. At the same time, how you make someone feel is also influenced by your own emotional state. If you are calm, grounded, and positive, that energy naturally influences the interaction. If you are anxious, reactive, or overly focused on outcomes, that energy can create tension. Being aware of your own emotions and managing them effectively allows you to show up in a way that supports a healthy and attractive dynamic. Another powerful emotional element is inspiration. When a man is around a woman who lives with purpose, who has her own goals, and who is passionate about her life, it creates a sense of admiration. He feels inspired by her energy and is naturally drawn to it. That inspiration adds depth to the connection because it shows that you are not only someone he enjoys being with, but someone who positively influences his mindset and outlook. The way you make someone feel also includes the sense of connection you create through presence. When you are fully engaged in the moment, not distracted by your phone or other thoughts, you communicate that the interaction matters to you. This level of attention makes the other person feel important and valued, which strengthens the emotional bond. At the end of the day, attraction is deeply emotional. It's built in moments, in conversations, and in the subtle ways you interact with someone. When you consistently create a positive, respectful, and emotionally fulfilling experience, you become someone he associates with those feelings. And those feelings are what keep the connection alive, meaningful, and strong over time. In the end, what truly creates lasting attraction is not perfection, not performance, and not trying to be everything to everyone. It's how you show up as a woman in your own truth. It's the way you embrace authenticity instead of hiding behind a mask, the way you connect emotionally instead of staying on the surface, and the way you bring lightness, warmth, and positivity into every interaction. It's your self-worth and your confidence and your ability to value yourself without needing someone else to validate you. When a woman understands that attraction is deeply emotional, she stops focusing on chasing and starts focusing on connection. She realizes that men are not just drawn to appearances, but to the feelings they experience in her presence, the respect, the ease, the appreciation, and the sense of being understood. These are the elements that create a bond that goes beyond the initial spark and develops into something meaningful and lasting. The most powerful shift happens when you stop trying to be what you think is attractive and instead become someone who is aligned, grounded, and genuine. Because when you do that, you don't just attract attention, you attract the right kind of connection. The kind that feels natural, the kind that feels mutual, the kind that grows over time. Attraction is not about doing more, it's about being more of who you truly are. And when you step into that space with confidence, clarity, and authenticity, you naturally become the kind of woman who leaves a lasting impression, not because you tried to, but because you showed up as yourself.